Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Jasmine. I am the owner of CreativeJas Designs and Twinkleology on Etsy. CreativeJas, I make mostly face masks and custom t-shirts for adults, children, babies, all sizes. And then Twinkleology is actually specifically for baby and toddler apparel. I do go up as large as youth extra large. But today I will be creating some face masks using sublimation. So if you are interested in seeing on how I create those, then please keep watching. All right, so to get started, I have already printed out all my orders from Etsy. This is specifically for CreativeJas. Blocking this side because I don't want you guys to see, my customers' information. What I like to do is sort them by, if it's like the same design, then I group them so when I go to print, I can do them in a big batch than having to go back and forth with every design, which makes it harder. So my first one is actually a Friends themed vaccinated mask. So it's this one right here. So it's been very popular lately. It's actually my bestseller right now. And right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in adult size. So I'll show you how I do those now. So here I click on Creative Studio. I hit start creating, and here is where you're gonna type in face masks. So type that in, and then I scroll down till I find that's the one that I use right there. And then I go to galleries. I go into my images, and then I type in the beginning of what the file name would be, which would be vaccinated. And there's the image. So now I just enlarge it to the size where I believe, would be a good size. And then I'm just move it a little. And then I go to print. Then here, I'm gonna choose the computer that I'm using. I change the amount of copies I need, which is 6. Always make sure it says the type of paper and polyester material. And then here, I'm gonna change it to vivid. And I hit print. And now I just wait till it loads. Hit OK. And then now I have to go and find my print manager software. So that's the print manager. You have to let it load. And now here, when that loads, you just make sure that says polyester, same paper again. And then you go to layout, and then I'm gonna change that to 8.5 by 14 because that's the size sheet that I use. Then when you go to jobs, I just size the width and the height. It automatically changes. So I just change the width to the size that I use for my adult masks, and then I hit print. All right, so now that I have submitted all the images to the print manager, I'm sending it to print now, and I will show you how that prints now. So I have submitted it over, and now it's gonna go to the printer. All right, so now this is my sublimation printer. It is the Sawgrass Sg500. I do know that some people actually customize this printer right here. It's an Epson, which you can convert to do it so that it can do sublimation ink. But this one is actually just my regular printer. But this is the one that I use to do the sublimation. So as you can see, that alert right there just means that the info has been transferred over. What I do is I press any button just to activate the screen, and if you can see there, it pretty much just makes you manually do it. For some reason, I haven't figured out how it can just continue like printing on its own, so I have to manually do every single sheet. But if you noticed, this tray is sticking out right here. It's because The sheets that I use are 8.5 by 14, not the regular 8.5 by 11, because this right here, if I have like smaller masks, then I can fit more masks on one sheet than just using more paper with the smaller sheets. So what I do now is I press, can't even focus this camera, form feed the following route. So I do OK, and then that is the correct size of sheet that I have in here. So okay on the actual button, and now it'll just start grabbing the paper and printing. Alright, so after it prints, like these are some of my other images that I also printed. What I do is I like to cut around the white and separate them so that I can sort them in each order. And then when I go to the heat press, then I have each design with each order of where they go. So I cut them out like that. So I can sort them by order and separate them so that when I'm doing the heat pressing, it makes it easier for me to package the orders as I go. But I have already sorted each mask size per order. These are my small kid masks. Those are the blank ones that I use. I also have big kid masks and adult. But I'll show you more on how I get those ready and press them on the heat press. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sort these out, and I'm gonna go heat up my heat press. The temperature I do them at is 400 degrees with medium pressure for 40 seconds. So this is my heat press. Decided to just show you how I do it for setting it up. So I turn it on. I don't know if you can see the actual settings because it's so glary in here. So right now it's actually set for 330. I'm gonna put it up to 400. You probably can't see it. All right, so that's 400, and move it up to 40 seconds. And then I set it, and it's all set. Make sure my heat press is at pretty firm pressure. A little less than that. And then this is the butcher paper that I use to press my masks. I'll show you that, how I cut it and how I prep my masks. So what I do is I take my cutter and the butcher paper. You can cut it with a scissor, but once I got this, I just decided to just cut it because it's a lot faster. to do, I usually do 2 masks per side on these. So I would cut probably about 5 of these sheets. So now that the heat press is all heated up to 400 degrees, I take one of my butcher sheets, and since I have a swing away heat press, I move it over and I lay the sheet on there. I don't know if you can see that. There you go. So what I do is I try to do two at a time to make it easier. Since this one right here is 2 masks for this one order, these are the masks that I use. They are polyester, so that when you print, you do need to have polyester material to be able to sublimate onto that material. So what I do is I like to use a lint roller and just pretty much do it on both sides, just to make sure there's no hair fibers stuck to it. And then I do the same thing for the second one. So same thing, both sides. And then what I do is I take the image and I lay it on top. So my little trick is I like to lift up the image to make sure that it is aligned exactly how I want it. And just make sure that it's not getting cut off anywhere. I do the same thing for the second one. Make sure it's aligned good, nothing's getting cut off. And then I bring it back over. Press for 40 seconds. Very hot in this room. This room out here where I do my pressing is like a sauna. It's pretty much like being outside, and it is like almost 100 degrees, so it's very hot in here. As you noticed earlier when I was recording, I had a jacket on because inside the house is cold, but out here it's hot. So it's like when I come in here, this is 400 degrees, it doesn't help. I try to do things quickly so I can get back inside. But this is the end result. They're very hot. So just make sure when you take them off the heat press that you are very careful that you don't burn yourself. And I'm going to show you now how I package my orders. What I like to do is once they are cool enough, I fold them up, put them back in their packaging. So they fit better. What I do is I take a piece of tape and I fold over the extra plastic. And I do the same thing for the second one. And one thing I forgot to mention is before I start handling the mask, I do make sure to wash and sanitize my hands. One thing you don't want to forget to do, especially when you are dealing with stuff that people are going to put on their faces. So then I do that, and then I take these two, the receipt, and I slide it in here, seal it, take the air out, and I put one of my little thank you stickers and it's ready to go put in the mail. That is how I package my face masks. So if you like this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more content on how I do my orders, how I process vinyl orders, DTG orders, which is direct to garment, and sublimation, please make sure to subscribe, and make sure to hit that notification bell so that whenever I post a new video, you are notified and do not miss any videos. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.